or the first steps or whatever that happened, he could actually be there too.
So obviously, we're hearing stories of you and your husband lead your children into, for a lot of people, I mean, this is a very different story than the standard quote unquote American dream.
Oh yeah.
Right. But it is the American dream though, at the same time. And
it's
so
like, it's still the American dream, but it's no longer the American way.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the interesting thing that you do with moms right now is that, you're going out, you're sharing these stories, you're sharing your life, but then all of a sudden I think the story for so many moms is that, oh, I'm just a mom.
Yes.
And every time I hear something like that, I just kind of crumble inside because I'm like, dude, are you serious? But that's how they feel.
Truly.
That's how they feel.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So walk us through how and kind of the process that you follow in mentoring moms.
Yeah.
To help them understand, okay, this is a big deal that you're growing people.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
That's an important thing.
Yes. It's no small feat and no small task. And I'll talk about how I even got to this place, because I have always just had a heart for moms. I've always found myself gravitating towards moms in the grocery store, encouraging them when they have that child who's fallen out of the grocery cart and just screaming, and everyone else is looking at her with these eyes of judgment, and she feels the heat of those stares. I'm that one who's like going, girl, it's just one day out of many days, okay? Like this one won't go down as the best day ever, but you'll survive it, like it's okay. And others of us have been here before. Like it just happens to not be us today, And I will give you one tip that I do in grocery stores when my kids used to do this.
Yes.
Okay, people, here's the tip of the day. So when my kids would get to this point where they were overtired, really hungry, cranky, whatever is going on, the tag is touching them in the back of their shirt. I don't know what is causing them to act out today, but they are just not having it in the middle of the grocery store. I would flip the script on them, and I would suddenly become the nanny. And I would just go, oh my goodness, look at how you're behaving. I'm going to have to tell your mom all about that when we get home. And here's this confused child who like stops in mid cry, like, what? Mom? What? And they're kind of looking at me like, what does she mean she's going to tell mom when we get home? I would completely flip the script and just become a whole nother person right in front of them. And, nannies do not get embarrassed, right? Like that's not their child. That's their job, right? And they're there to care for the child, but they're not invested in like, this says everything about me because this child is falling out in the grocery store. They're just like, I don't know, I'm just watching the kid, right? And I'm like, that became my attitude to keep me from being embarrassed. And when we're embarrassed, we say things we shouldn't. We do things we shouldn't because we're just trying to cover up the shame. So I wanted to find a way to just diffuse that tension in the moment and not put myself on edge and just further cause them to act out worse. I just flipped it and just was like, oh yeah, so we'll have to just tell your mom about that when we get home. And then I would just say, come on, get on up. We're going to go home. Let's tell your mom all about it. And it just immediately just took the tension out of that moment and confused them enough that they would settle down.
Okay,
so we could leave the store.
Are you saying you did this primarily to confuse the child and like a pattern interrupt, or are you saying you did it for you to distance yourself from the child,
or both of that, anything that worked in that moment to get me out of that store and to get them to stop it.
Have your grown children talked to you about this? They're like, remember that time when you pretended to not be you? Have you ever had a conversation with your like older children about this?
The funny thing is they don't remember.
They don't remember.
Isn't that something? Because you think about how old they are when they're doing that kind of stuff. They don't remember that kind of stuff. There you go. Yeah, it's stuff they'll remember with their therapist. And by then, they're paying that bill. So,
but at least you help them along and they start their business when they're 14. So they can afford some therapy.
The future therapists of America, I've got a fleet of people coming your way.
A fleet. Roll up in your van for 9.
There you go.
Just like, we have hours 1 through 10.
I got your day on lock. I got your whole day on lock. Just my children are coming in.
Are you feeling like you're lost in your own life? You know that there's something better, and you even know what that something looks like, but you just can't seem to get there? Or maybe you start, make a little progress, and all of a sudden, whammo, life happens, and now you feel hopelessly lost and far away from your goal. Try a new approach to figuring out what's going on in your life, the Creation Curve Compass Planner from our friends at Creation Curve Leadership. The Compass Planner is values-based, a different model than that old planner you buy every year and stop using around the second week of February. The best part? It's free, printable, and super easy. Just go to creationcurve.com/compass and tell our friends, Coach and Kimberly, where to send it. That's creationcurve.com/compass for your free values-based planner. If you're done getting lost in your own life, stop living by the clock and start living by your values.
So that's a really good example of you have all of these little nuggets, but you also come alongside women to really change the script of who they are. So talk to me a little bit about that. We've been talking primarily about how you lead in your family, but a lot of women don't see themselves as leaders, and they don't see themselves even necessarily as important. You know, the whole I'm just a mom, or I don't really contribute anything. You know, a lot of women, if they're not working a job, they feel like, well, I'm not bringing in any income. And so there's some struggle there around worth. And how do you come alongside moms as a coach and a speaker?
Truly.
And you've really built a business around that. So can you talk a little bit about helping moms look at themselves as leaders?
Oh, my goodness. That is the heartbeat of my message. So I wrote a book in 2016 entitled The Intentional Parent, Parenting on Purpose When Life Gets Busy, because life gets busy. And we can get pulled in many different directions and feel just distracted and overwhelmed and exhausted, and sometimes wondering, what am I doing all of this for, right? I cook the food, they get hungry again. I wash the dishes get dirty again. I do laundry, there's more laundry to do. It doesn't seem like I do anything
right now.
That's ever done, right? It's not like we have a job where we can create a project or write a report and it's done. All of the work that is involved in motherhood is work that is continual. And then sometimes if you take a minute and your child is 4 or 5 and you start to think about how many more years you got of this, it starts to feel like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I didn't stop to think about that. This is almost endless, it feels like.
Girl, I'm so with you. I had this moment, like, I don't know, 6 months ago, maybe a year ago. And I was at the grocery store. And I, you know, like there's things your family buys every time you go.
Right.
You know, milk, cheese. For us, like hummus was the thing. I was like picking up hummus. I always, you know, we were in a hummus phase. Like, I'm going to buy this hummus every 2 weeks for the rest of my life.
It feels like, yeah.
And I just came home and I was like, Ben, how many hours do you think I'm going to spend at the grocery store? I don't want to do this every friggin' pay period forever and ever. And so he was like, do you want me to go to the grocery store sometimes? And I was like, yes. So
yes,
he's astoundingly heroic.
Instacarts, just
and then you just decided to let someone else outsource it,
heroic.
Girl. There you go.
You know, you pay a little extra, so you have to decide, is that worth it?
Sure.
But there are times when it is worth it. Like, you know what? I will take those 3 hours and I will pay someone $20
They're not
for
only
that.
times, there are absolute seasons where you should just say, this needs to be part of the bills. It just needs to, because it will create the brain space. It will just give the relief of the stress of one more thing that needs to get done. So yeah, there are times, there are seasons, go for it.
Yeah, Ben started doing the grocery shopping, and like four times after he started, he was like, let's let someone else do this. I was like, yes.
It only took you 4 to go, yeah, I'm over this.
Yeah, pretty much. And every time I go to the grocery store afterwards, I'm like, why did I do this?
Oh, my word.
This is so worth $20 for me to not be here.
There you go.
You know?
There you go. Well, you found a way to create value in your time, because you all are both, you know, doing well in business as well. So you understand that you got to weigh your time out. And I want to create a space where moms begin to see that their time is valuable as well. And they're willing to get the support that they deserve in order to do one of the toughest jobs that there is on the planet, and one of the most crucial and critical. So are moms leaders? Absolutely. Are they valued as leaders always? No. to this day, I can go into certain circles and I say to people, hi, how you doing? And we start a conversation. Natural conversation, especially here in America, is, what do you do? And I'll say, I'm a mom of 7 kids. And they kind of nod slowly. First of all, they're trying to take in the 7 kids. I totally get that life now. But then they're also saying, and I've had them outright say, and then do you do, what else do you do? What else? Do you do anything else? And I just kind of pause because part of me wants to say, okay, so that's actually quite a lot and you're welcome. But
seriously, I'm like the opposite. I'm like, when do you breathe?
Yeah. And you're standing here.
You are
fully
showered.
Dressed.
Way
And
to go.
How about that? Smiling and actually look like you had sleep. Yeah, that's impressive. And I would take the high five on that. I'm here to tell you. Bam.
High five.
There you go. So, but beyond that, I began mentoring moms really because it was what I had been doing. It's just a natural outreach of my heart towards other women, because this is my experience. If we were to go, speaking of women, if we were to go into any business and get a job as a manager, one of the first things we'd be put through is training. They're going to give you management training for the job that they expect you to do. In motherhood, baby arrives.
Where's the training?
And here come the crickets, right? You're just kind of standing there like, hello, anyone going to explain what should we do first? What's most important? And how do we do it? And is there a right way? And surely we've been doing this for quite a long time as a people. Have we not figured this out yet? Why do I feel so alone? And who do I ask, right? And because of the structure of our families in this country now, most of us are not near our parents. We're not near a family support system that could come around us and really keep us through this transition that we're going through as parents.
Plus, they weren't trained either.
You know what I'm saying? And then some of us know our families well enough to go, no, baby.
No. I love you,
It's
but
okay.
no.
Whatever you tell me to do, that's a 180. I'm not doing that. I'm clear on that. So then what do? We go to our friends. We go to Google and get a gajillion responses on things you should do that start to contradict each other.
WebMD. And then you say, my baby is dying.
That's it. Everything's critical at this
Oregon
point.
Trail
Yes.
of websites.
That tiny rash is
Everything
now a
leads to
disease.
dysentery.
Yes. Yes. It was just diaper rash, but I swear my kid's dying. I swear it's over.
Right?
Well,
Yeah.
the sleep deprivation plus the Google
Come on.
results can make you a little crazy.
Take away anything. At some point, new moms are saying, take away anything, but just give me 5 minutes of sleep, right?
Really.
You can have it all.
I honestly, I'm sure a lot of people would say this, but I didn't think the sleep deprivation was going to be that big of a deal because I was not real fond of sleep. I just am I'll sleep when I'm dead kind of person. I'm just a burn the candle at both ends. And I just thought I'm pretty good at not sleeping. But you know what it is? It's the cumulative lack of sleep because college or you're in your 20s and, as a teacher, I would stay up sometimes all night grading papers and then I'd go teach another day. But then the next day I would sleep for 12 hours.
Uninterrupted.
But you can't ever do that. It's I'm not going to ever. You feel there are seasons you feel like
Can you come here?
Yeah.
I'm never ever going to sleep through the night again,
Yes.
I mean, our son is 5 and he's still he wakes up sometimes and then he's in the phase where he's scared because it's dark.
Yes.
And his room is not super close to ours in the layout of our apartment. And so it's just you wake up to him going screaming Mom, I need water. Okay, go get it. No, it's dark. So at 3 in the morning, you're you're 5 years old. Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure if the screaming across the house is worse. Tell me which one is worse. Is it them screaming across the house or you just open your eyes slightly to this dark figure standing over you in the middle of the night? Because that's more my experience in my household.
We definitely went through that phase in the 2 to 3 kind of world. And it is pretty creepy.
That is terrifying, actually. I have just please knock as you come in the door, like shake the bed as you, like something. But please don't let me open my eyes and you're just standing there breathing deeply over me. That is just way too much.
You know what Jack has been doing lately? If it's light, like so, if he wakes up and it's the weekend and we've blessedly gotten to sleep past sunrise, and he'll walk into the room and he'll start putting toys